First-time home buyers in New York. Buying your first home in Manhattan can feel overwhelming, especially when closing costs, board requirements, and financing rules all move at once. First-time buyers in New York often face unexpected fees at closing, confusion about flexible closing dates, and delays during the mortgage pre-approval process. A real estate lawyer can help review the contract, coordinate with the lender, and protect your investment from costly mistakes. Closing costs can add tens of thousands of dollars to the purchase price, and the amount available at closing is not always the same as the full loan amount because lenders deduct fees before disbursing funds. In a standard resale transaction, buyers may pay lenders counsel fees, appraisal fees, escrow fees, and title-related charges in condo or townhouse purchases. Buyers financing a qualifying residential purchase in New York City generally also pay a mortgage recording tax, with rates of 1.8% for homes under $500,000 and 1.925% for homes priced at $500,000 or more. When purchasing from a sponsor or developer, buyers may also be responsible for transfer taxes, legal fees, working capital fund contributions, and other building-related charges. New York's mansion tax applies to residential purchases of $1 million or more, starting at 1% of the purchase price, and residential purchases of $2 million or more in New York City may also trigger an additional supplemental transfer tax. Co-op purchases do not require a mortgage recording tax because buyers are purchasing shares in a corporation rather than real property. Condo and townhouse buyers, however, should budget for mortgage recording tax and title insurance in addition to other closing expenses. Most real estate contracts use an on or about closing date, which is a target date rather than a strict deadline. In practice, either party may adjourn the closing for a reasonable period, typically up to 30 days, which can help buyers who still need time for financing and final preparations. Sponsor or developer transactions can be different because the closing date may be treated as time is of the essence, meaning a buyer who is not ready on time may be considered in default. A closing can involve the seller, the buyer, each side's attorney, lender's counsel when financing is involved, and in condo transactions, the title company. Another challenge is that closing figures are not always available in advance, which can create last-minute confusion and delays. Federal disclosure rules also require lenders to provide a closing disclosure at least 3 business days before closing so buyers can review loan terms, closing costs, and other financial details. A mortgage pre-approval does not guarantee that the loan will fund. The buyer must qualify financially, the building must be approved by the lender, and the appraisal must support the purchase price at the necessary loan-to-value ratio. Prequalification is only an initial estimate based on self-reported information, while pre-approval is a more detailed review of credit, income, and assets that results in a written commitment for a specific loan amount. Borrowers should also be ready to explain any large deposits made within 2 months before applying for credit because lenders closely review unusual account activity. Home inspections matter because once a buyer signs a binding contract, the ability to renegotiate based on defects becomes much more limited. In New York, sellers of residential real property must provide a property condition disclosure statement before the buyer signs a binding contract of sale, but that disclosure is not a substitute for an independent inspection. First-time buyers may also benefit from assistance programs such as Home First and Sony May. Home First offers qualified buyers up to $100,000 in forgivable loans for down payments and closing costs on eligible homes, condos, and co-ops in the 5 boroughs. Sony May offers competitive fixed-rate mortgages, low down payment options, and a down payment assistance loan that may be forgiven after 10 years depending on program terms. Minimum down payments can range from 0% to 3.5% depending on the loan type, but some Manhattan co-op boards may require 20% or more along with strong post-closing liquidity. A buyer should understand both mortgage requirements and building requirements before making an offer, and a lawyer or attorney from a law firm can help review those obligations before closing. Homeowners' insurance rates can also vary because insurers look beyond mortgage approval and often consider a credit-based insurance score when setting premiums. Sishodia PLLC is a boutique law firm, and speaking with a lawyer or attorney there can help first-time buyers navigate contract review, lender coordination, closing cost analysis, and board application preparation at 600 3rd Avenue 2nd floor, New York, 10016, United States, or by calling 833-616-4646.